Namaste everyone. I am Chitra Ganesh, the founder of the Śraddhā School of Yoga. I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time to tell you a little bit about my life journey and how I came to yoga. So I grew up in a very spiritual environment in Chennai, South India. I noticed from early childhood itself, I was very drawn to spiritual practices that brought me closer to my heart. So practices like chanting shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita, chanting Vedic mantras, singing bhajans, Carnatic classical music, the study of Sanskritam, and so on. I truly believe that it was these childhood experiences that went on to shape my life journey. So I came to yoga in the year 2001. And like most of us do, I came to it through the physical practice, the asana practice. Now, growing up in India, I knew that yoga was a spiritual practice, but how deep a practice it was, I did not realize until I started to practice it for myself. The more I practiced the asanas, and I remember in the early days, I was practicing them all the time. The more I practiced them, the more I realized that this was bringing me closer to my heart, very similar to the practices in my childhood. So this gave me a clue that there must be something deeply spiritual about this practice. So I started to study more about yoga. And what I found out was that yoga is a philosophy that is based on the Vedas. This blew my mind because I didn't know about this until that point of time. So I continued to study more about yoga and then went on to become a certified yoga teacher in the year 2005. I opened my own yoga studio and started to teach individual and group classes. I remember another thing that I did at that time was I integrated mantra chanting into my asana classes. This was received very well by my students. So this teaching, practicing, learning, studying and all of this went on for almost a decade until I do believe it was divine grace that brought me to my current tradition, the Viniyoga tradition. This tradition is deeply rooted in the teachings of Acharya T. Krishnamacharya and Acharya T.K.V. Deshikachar. It places mantra chanting and scriptural study at the heart of the practice. All yogic tools are adapted to suit each and every individual. And yoga is taught as a deeply personal, spiritual journey. It does not focus only on asana the way most modern schools are doing. So as you can imagine, I was elated to be a part of this tradition because it was a beautiful fit for me. So I went on to complete my teacher's training certification under Dr. Kaustubha Deshikachar and my Vedic chanting certification under Mrs. Menaka Deshikachar. In the years that followed, I continued to deepen my roots in the Viniyoga tradition and then continued my Vedic chanting training under Mrs. Sujya Isaac, who was a long-term student of Acharya T.K.V. Deshikachar. So recently, I completed a Viniyoga teacher trainer certification under Dr. Kaustubha Deshikachar. So in June of this year, when I was attending a Viniyoga conference, something shifted inside of me. I had this deep calling to start my own school so that I can spread the deep teachings of yoga far and wide. I wanted to spread the knowledge that yoga is not merely a physical practice, but it's a deeply spiritual practice. So when I decided to start my own school, naturally the next question was, what was I going to call it? So the very first word that emerged from my heart was Śraddhā. Because Śraddhā is about doing things from your heart. I love this word. I love the way it sounds when pronounced well in Sanskritam. I love how it looks when written in Devanagari. In fact, the logo of my school has Śraddhā written in Devanagari at the center in my own handwriting. I love writing in Devanagari. So then I decided to call my school the Śraddhā School of Yoga because I really and truly wanted to share traditional teachings from my heart. So as I undertake this journey, I invite you to join me so that we can expand our knowledge of yoga and look beyond asana and understand that yoga is a deeply spiritual practice that can take all of us forward in a very beautiful way. Namaste.